Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Snehal Pachigar and I'm here to help you achieve your professional goal. You might have figured from the title of this video, this is the second episode in the video series Successfully Getting an Interview. In this video, we'll be mainly covering on how to up your resume. We'll be learning some building blocks on getting your resume up and running. If you haven't checked out my previous video on how to get started, I highly recommend you doing that so that you are in the flow of this video series. So first and the foremost thing, I think this is the most missed thing in a resume, but the most important one. Please, let's take care of some Newb 101 mistakes. Take a look at your resume, remove any spelling errors that you have. If you have spelling errors, nothing is worse than looking at a resume that has spelling errors. Please take care of that. Please take care of any font size misalignments. If one sentence is in 12 pixel font and the other one is in 14 and it just looks ugly, let's make it consistent. If there are some extra indentation, spacing, new lines, unnecessary things that are there, clean it up. Make sure that everything is aligned in a way that it is supposed to be. Make sure your margins are aligned, left, right, top, top, bottom. If something is off, make sure those things are in there. So what we are trying to do here is that making your resume on the very first glance visually appealing. So step one, take a look at that and take care of all those minor things, some 101 things that needs to get out of the way. So let me start by sharing my resume, and the reason why I want to go through my resume because I know I have put a significant amount of effort in going through a lot of iterations and getting it reviewed by professionals out there and putting it in a state where I know it has worked out well for me, right? So I'll start by sharing my screen right here and I press record. Okay, so hopefully you can see my resume. Now, here's the first question that I ask you. When you are looking at my resume, at the very first glance, what do you feel? What is it that comes to your mind when you're looking at my resume? I'll tell you some things that my recruiters, when I was applying for a job, told me is that when they looked at my resume, a few things that they felt was less cluttered, enough white space, well sectioned and modularized. So what I'm trying to emphasize here is that first impression matters a lot. If your resume is too cluttered, too heavy, and it doesn't make the recruiter feel good about it, then it's not a good sign. The very first thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that your recruiter is happy looking at that. Take care of your recruiter will take care of you. I think that is very important. So as you can see, I have created different sections and we'll individually go in each section and stuff. So before we go in the details for it, let me tell you something. And majority of the recruiters have told me, right, that max, and this is the harsh truth, at max, a recruiter is going to look at your resume, if you are lucky, will be about 20 to 30 seconds. That's it. 20 to 30 seconds. That much is the time window you have to grab the attention of your recruiter. Recruiters are busy. They have hundreds of resumes coming in every day, and all they have to do is focus on the right things. They have been experts in this field throughout, so they know how these things work, right? And now you have to make sure that you delight your recruiter in that 20-30 second window. Now, the first thing that we start off is with the personal information. So don't make your personal information too fancy. Keep it simple. The way I have done it is, first and the foremost thing in big bold letters is my name and a blue divider line and my personal information like the address, my cell phone number and my email address, so that recruiter or anyone can contact me. It is important to put location information because sometimes recruiters would like to know if the candidate is local or they are outside and if there is some relocation needed. So maybe you can keep your location or the city that you're living in, and you can add your personal information section like that. Now moving on to the next section, that is the objective. This is a very important section for the start of your resume, because when a recruiter is looking at your resume, they should figure out what is this candidate looking for. Is this candidate looking for an internship, a full-time position? In what field is this candidate looking for a job? So it is very important for you to put an objective, something like seeking a full-time position, or seeking an internship, or seeking a contract position uh, in the field of XYZ, computer science, design, product, to implement what skills that you want to implement if you get the job, right? So, as important as this is, make sure that you get this right and pass on the right message. It has to be one sentence, it need not be too complicated again. Just say what you're looking for and what you're planning to bring on the table. A one sentence or a two sentence objective is more than enough for recruiter to figure out what is this candidate looking for. Okay, so moving on, we have our objective and our personal summary nailed down now. So the next section that I have in here is skills for my resume. Now keep in mind that this section can vary based on what stage of your career you are in. Currently, I'm no longer a fresh grad. I have been in the tech industry for about 7-8 years. So for me, the most relevant section is to put skills, especially my programming skills and any sort of other skills that I have. But if you are out of college fresh grad or an intern or something, I would recommend that you put your education section, and you can write down the university name and what course are you doing, right? Like bachelor's in science or master's, MBA, whatever you want to put in there. So this depends. If you are fresh out of college seeking for an internship or a full-time, and you want to put something more in the education section, you can put a relevant coursework. So you can put things like the courses that are most appropriate for this specific job search. So make sure you add that section instead of skills. You can move skills to a later section in here. After skills, the most important section that will come is your experience section. And I would like to make two sections go parallel here. One is the experience section and another one is the projects section. So the reason why I'm mentioning these two is that it is possible that you might not have enough experience, and it's completely okay. If that is the case, then I would say put your projects section above your experience section. For example, if you're a college grad and or you're just in college right now and all you have is all the individual projects that you have done as part of your coursework, if that is the thing, then put those projects section before your experience, and it is completely okay for experience to go below. The point is that you want to showcase your best information first, then something that is irrelevant, but just because it is experience, it counts. So it is completely okay to move sections around here and there. Now, as far as what should go in experience section, right? Pick your top 2 or top 3. That's it. I know we can have in a lot of experience, we have done great things in our life, but the thing is we have just 20 to 30 seconds of your recruiter window, right? And you want to make sure that the best is captured. So pick your top 2 or top 3 and put that in there. That'll be the best and the cleanest way to display the right information. How you should create your each individual section, you should do something like this. Put your company name or any sort of institution name, put your team name and a title, or you can just put the title if there is no team name in it. And I would also like to put where I worked and the time period that I worked for, from December to Jan to Feb or something like that, right? If I'm currently working, make sure that I put present so that we know that I'm currently employed there. One small nitpick that I usually see is that people tend to put long month names, like spelling out December completely, January, February, It's okay to shorten it, but if you're shortening it make sure that it is consistent. So if it is DC, then make sure that you're using JAN and not January. So just make it consistent and less, you utilize as less space as possible. Another thing is that in the meat section, in the actual experience section, don't write paragraphs. Keep things bulleted, and in one bullet, only one sentence, one line, not more than that. The reason is that if a recruiter just randomly picks one bullet, he or she should be able to ask you a question just related to that bullet. It should completely be disassociated with the rest of the content. So try to break down as much as possible and try to keep things simple. Second thing that I would like to suggest is try to use action words. In the description below, I have put a link where you can find some action words based on the subcategories. For example, leadership, technical, the craftsmanship, execution, or something like that. So I have used action words heavily. For example, contributed, responsible, worked, collaborated, facilitated, or evangelized. So these words are nice. They give a good ring and a good start to your sentences, and you will also understand that okay, I have written two in leadership, probably 1 or 2 points I need in execution and the other one I need from some other section. So make sure that you start your sentences with some sort of action words. We have tackled the experience and the project section, and we feel pretty confident about it. And now comes at the very end, the unsung hero, or I find this is the most ignored section yet extremely important section in the resume. This is the honors and the extracurricular section. Put this section, there are many benefits of this section. A, it'll be a good filler for your resume to equalize the space if it is a 1 page or a 2 page resume. Secondly, there are so many things that you can put in this resume that can be great icebreakers and conversation starters between you and your interviewer or you and your recruiter. For example, for me, I have had multiple conversations with my interviewers about my photography skills or my ping pong. For that matter, in one of the interviews, after the interview was done, I had a ping pong match with my interviewer. They asked me about the hackathon that I won. They asked me about some sort of passions that I have for comedy or theater or something. So this section is a great conversation starter and can be a great icebreaker. So, and sometimes you don't know, you can have common interests between the interviewer and recruiter in the section that you put. So make sure that you leverage this section really well, put honors and extracurriculars, and add things that are that you are really passionate of and something that you would like to showcase. Hopefully, these tips, tricks, and ideas that I shared today will be useful for you. If you have some ideas or if you have tips and tricks that you have used for your resume building and have worked out very well, please do let me know. Please do comment, and maybe with your comment, someone else can benefit from it. And in the next video, now that we have our resume ready and now we had our Trello board ready from our episode 1, we'll be combining them and now going in the field and start applying the right way. We'll start getting in touch with the recruiters and seeing what is the best for us. So make sure you check out our next episode also. Till then, keep working hard. Make sure to bring the best out of yourself, and good luck.